Waters World is on tonight. 1, 2, 7 tweets and counting. President Trump bypassing the fake news media today and going right to the American people. What are you saying tonight? And the meltdown it's causing. And Crying Chuck's at it again, asking for a seat at the table to fix Democrats' health care disaster.
A lot of talking. He just doesn't seem like a serious person.
Who's right? Mark Levin says neither. And he's here with a message from the American people. What year did we declare our independence?
1984.
Way off. In honor of this holiday weekend, a Waters World classic that won't make you proud to be an American. It all begins right now. This is a Fox News alert. We're awaiting President Trump, who will speak this hour at an event honoring our country's veterans. We'll bring it to you live when he gets to the podium. Meantime, illegal alien crime and fake news, that is the subject of tonight's Waters Words. At 3:40 in the morning on June 18th, a 17-year-old Muslim girl, Nabra Hassanan, was leaving an IHOP in Virginia with her friends. It was Ramadan. She was confronted by a motorist who jumped out of his car and started swinging a baseball bat at the group of teens, killing Hassanan. Later that day, police arrested 22-year-old Darwin Torres and charged him with her murder. Torres is an illegal immigrant from El Salvador and just a week before was accused of punching, choking, and sexually assaulting another woman in front of a child. The victim never pressed charges because she believed Torres was an MS-13 gang member. Police are still investigating Torres's gang affiliations. Torres appeared in court for his arraignment, and ICE has slapped a detainer on him. Investigators determined the attack was the result of road rage, the group allegedly getting involved in a dispute with Torres before the bat attack. The case is not being investigated as an anti-Muslim hate crime. But despite the facts of the case, liberals are blaming white supremacy and Donald Trump for the murder of the Muslim teen. Even though the suspect is an El Salvadorian national, and police have determined that no religion at all played any role at all, Muslim talk radio host Hanif Williams tweeted this: Trump is the spokesman for the anti-Muslim rhetoric that inspires terrorists to murder Muslim teens. And feminist Amy Siskin said, Trump's hatred and bigotry are ripping the fabric of our country apart. Self-described anti-racism strategist Tariq Nasheed tweeted, have you noticed how law enforcement go out of their way to deny the racial motives for these white supremacist terror attacks? Liberal journalist Ben Norton said this: anti-Muslim terror, same day a genocidal Islamophobe ran over worshippers at a London mosque, a teen Muslim was beaten to death in Virginia. The left, so blinded by their hatred for President Trump and so desperate to sell Islamophobia, has created a fake news firestorm around this tragic story without facts and without responsibility. They're shooting first and not even asking questions later. Instead of wasting their time fact-checking the president, maybe they should start fact-checking themselves. And the president making good on his promise to make America safe again this week after the House passed 2 bills as part of the administration's crackdown on illegal immigration. But some say Senate Democrats are unlikely to get behind Kate's Law and the new Sanctuary Cities bill when push comes to shove in 2018. And the Republicans need to put pressure on Democrats to make sure that doesn't happen. Joining me now to discuss this very controversial topic, Sabine Durden, whose son was killed by an illegal immigrant, Lucy Flores, founding board member of Our Revolution. So, Sabine, your son, tragic situation, his name was Dominic, and there is an illegal immigrant, multiple felony convictions, had been deported, crossed back over the border illegally, and then killed your son in a car and was barely punished. It just breaks my heart hearing about this. Is Kate's Law something that you're behind? Because Kate's Law would have prevented this tragedy in your family.
I'm behind any law that will help to keep illegals out of this country and from killing and harming our loved ones and costing us billions and billions of dollars. And I wish Kate's Law wouldn't even exist. It shouldn't exist because she should be home with her family, And I should have my son here, and not next month celebrate the day he died and make it an angel date.
It's a tragic story, and my heart breaks for you guys.
Thank you, Jason.
Let me ask you this. Lucy, hearing that story, this preventable tragedy, innocent young man, how do Democrats like yourself not support something as common sense as Kate's Law?
Well, first and foremost, I absolutely empathize with Sabine and anyone who's lost a loved one to any kind of senseless crime. But what we have to focus on here is an effective approach towards actually fixing our broken immigration system. We cannot say that if Kate's Law was in place, that all of these situations would have been averted. What this does is this does nothing to fix the broken immigration system. It doesn't address the fact that President Trump said he was going to focus on criminals, people who were doing violent crime in their communities. That's who he said he was going to focus on. And instead, he's focusing on people who have just been living their lives, raising their families in our communities.
I hate to disagree with you, Lucy, because Kate's Law addresses the criminal element here. If you are convicted of a felony or 3 misdemeanors and you're deported and you get caught coming back, 10 years. 10 years. Because the guy out in San Francisco had multiple felony convictions and he'd come across the border 5 times, been deported 5 times. So this is very focused on criminality. I don't think you have it right.
No, the law actually includes people who have been deported twice or more for any reason. Now, that could be people seeking asylum. That's also another element of the law.
Excuse me, I have the law right here. It addresses multiple deportations. It addresses the reentry of criminal offenders. And it also addresses the statutory language with regards to each felony. If it's a murder, or a rape or a kidnapping, and they come back, they slap you with an even tougher sanction.
And we should absolutely focus on those people. There is no argument there.
Okay,
no one will argue that. But this is
Can I jump in for a second? Can I jump in? I'm so tired of Democrats always speaking up for those so-called law-abiding illegals. There are no law-abiding illegals. They're here legally. And if our laws would have been enforced and they would stand behind our American citizens instead of illegals, I wouldn't have the ashes of my son. That's all I got left. So stop speaking up for illegals, whether they're good illegals or bad illegals, because it can turn bad at any given moment, and your child is dead. Stand up for Americans, and one death, just one death, is too many. I'm tired of hugging Kate Steinle's moms. I'm tired of hugging my other angel moms.
That's not what this country is about. We have welcomed immigrants always. Our system
you're insulting immigrants now.
Lucy,
I'm an immigrant.
Hold on a second. Lucy, we welcome legal immigrants.
Yes.
We don't welcome illegal immigrants. But Lucy, go ahead.
I'm one.
We have to acknowledge that everybody wants an immigration system that works for this country. That's what Republicans, Democrats, the American people, over 80% of them, Republicans and Democrats, support a path to citizenship for undocumented people who are currently here.
You know what, Lucy, we're not talking about people that come here and work and are law-abiding. Yeah, they shouldn't have come here, but you know what? If I was a Mexican national, I'd probably cross the border too, because it's a great country and you get paid a lot of money to work here. But at the same time, if you're going to come here and commit felonies and sell drugs or kidnap people or rape people or get DUIs, you don't deserve second chances. You deserve to be locked up and deported.
We agree on that. We agree on that. But that's not what this law does.
Then you should get behind Kate's Law, because there's specific stipulations about misdemeanor and felony convictions. Okay?
In addition to other stipulations.
Fight for Americans. Fight for Americans. Use the money that's spent on all this illegal mumbo-jumbo. Spend it on our veterans, on our elderly, on our school systems.
That's right.
We're wasting billions of dollars on illegals.
We have to run, and I think there's a little agreement here. But unfortunately, we have to go. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, JC. I appreciate you.
Morning Joe host calling the President of the United States sexist. But how did they treat Sarah Palin? The great one, Mark Levin, is here with a fair and balanced report.